Hey friend, it's Amy Tangerine, and today's video didn't turn out quite the way I expected. It was supposed to be a simple back in the studio, flip through, and creative journaling session, showing you how to carve out just 10 to 15 minutes to create with a few of your favorite supplies. I had every intention of walking you through a feel-good process featuring things I'm truly excited about. I had this big plan, a celebration. I wanted to show you how I mix in some old favorites to encourage you to use what you already have and highlight a brand new sticker book you may have seen glimpses of called Color Your World. I even filmed a little launch clip back in April, feeling so excited and ready to share with all of you.
The sticker book, my newest sticker book, made in Canada,
Which was very exciting.
10 pages of delight. This is a dream come true. This is a sticker book. I know it seems silly that I put my dreams into stickers, but guess what? I do.
Well, that dream got shattered. I did receive a small sample batch earlier in April, which I took to Little Craft Fest, and the response was tremendous. But while on that trip, the manufacturer that I partnered with in Canada ended up canceling my order. At first I thought it was a mistake, but it wasn't. The price point we had agreed on just wasn't doable for them anymore. And while I completely understand and truly hold no hard feelings, it was a huge disappointment. I poured my heart into this project. I worked on it for months. You know how it is. You plan, you put in the work, you start to feel the excitement build, and then it just falls through. I had to process my feelings, so that's what I'm doing here. I sat down to journal through it, something I often do when I need to process. I wasn't going to film this actually because my hands were kind of shaking, and I have made tons of mistakes before in videos, but this video I made the most mistakes I think I've ever made while recording. But truly, I wanted to share this with you because it's part of what happens and part of what goes on behind the scenes, and it is real. In a lot of ways, it was sort of ironic the way this journaling session mirrored the experience of the sticker book. It didn't go the way I had hoped. It didn't turn out the way I had planned, but I just kept going. This glue stick is almost done. I was using the last little bits of it that I could on the back of this torn piece from Paper Play 2. I am so excited that some of you have it in your hands now. I also have listed some copies to go along with Paper Play 1 that are autographed and signed on my website. I will be linking those below. I'm taking this off, and while I need to go get another glue stick, I remembered that I have this brand new Beacon Zip Dry, which is a favorite among scrapbookers, which I haven't really put into use much, but somebody reminded me of it recently and how much they love this liquid glue. So I was trying to figure out why it didn't come out, and apparently there's a little piece that you can see inside the cap, so I needed to get that out first. This was sort of the first in a series of unfortunate events that prevented me from taking the 10 minutes that I had originally wanted to take just to get creative, because I had to carve out more time due to these little factors. And while they could be annoyances that could have stopped me and derailed me even further, I was sort of stubborn and I just wanted to make something just to make it. I almost turned off the video, but I kept going because I figured I would share with you the process and the journey in hopes that maybe you can take away something along the way too. And if you don't enjoy hearing me chat all about this, simply turn on some music, put me on mute, and just watch the process. The noise might start up again, so I might set this to music, but I have a moment to let you know that I have been trying to be better about cleaning off my stamps with a baby wipe, putting it back on the backer card, and then finishing off the stamping a little bit more. I love the flower here, so I'm trying to figure out which side will be best, but I definitely want to stamp it in the black Ranger Archival ink. This is my favorite black ink. Right there, looks good. Yep. I kind of like it going off the page a little bit, but overlapping a little too. So here's a product that I've had for a while. This is Simon Hurley's Lunar Paste in Later Gator, which I think is so cute. And the reason I thought about using it was because I had this tool, and I don't like the way I stamped this flower, so I'm trying to cover it up. But it was not going in the way that I thought it was, and I needed to shift a little bit. So I decided to grab a wedge tool instead and move around the paint. Now, part of the process of creating to me is going with the flow, but everything that I was doing turned out to be a mess, and I didn't realize that this would be so sheer. It was a hard studio session right here. I'm not sure why it was so difficult. It felt that there were all these forces against me, but then once I started making these marks, it started feeling good again. And I realized that one of the things I always tell you is that crafting should not be stressful. This should be relaxing. We should enjoy the process. I also love the idea that in crafting, you can cover up mistakes with a sticker. Sometimes it takes more than one though. So I tried to make this one work and it almost fit, but I stuck it on my hand, flipped through the sticker book again, and got this green streak and layered them together. And this is the moment where I was starting to really appreciate the fact that, you know what, it can come together if I just go with the flow. Butterflies feel like a good sign, and I like how the yellow plays off of the yellow polka dots on the left side. So I'm going to stick that down right here. One of my new favorite pens is this Zebra Dual Brush pen. This is the thicker side, and this is the thinner side. So I'm going to add some journaling on top of what I think is dried lunar paste. This actually felt so smooth while I was writing it. It really, the words kind of came to me. I don't know if they were profound or anything. I don't think they need to be. When you are journaling and you are creating from the heart, I think it's okay that you don't have to make it perfect. You don't even have to write in complete sentences if you don't want to, but this is what I wrote. I create to connect. I create to feel free. I create because it brings me back to me. Okay, the construction noise might start again, but here we go. Create space for joy. Create again, and I wanted to use this ampersand with the hot pink, because if you're sticking with just a few ink colors, it feels very cohesive as far as a 2-page spread goes. One more little heart here in the Tickle Me Pink. I think that's what it's called. No, Tickled Pink. And this is where I messed up. Look at how bad that is. And then I tried to cover it up with black, and it didn't work because it almost slid. It was a little slippery. So I grabbed a piece from Paper Play, the first one, and this was just sitting on my desk. I'm tearing out a portion to cover it up. I'm really liking the nozzle of the zip dry because it can get into that tiny little corner there. Just when I thought I couldn't mess up again, I did. So here I am looking through this notebook that I have, and I am kind of feeling frustrated with myself. Too much ink there. That one looks good. All of this to say that this creative session was not what I expected. It didn't go the way I had hoped, and this was one of those things where I had that green paint somehow on my hand and it got over there. But when life doesn't go your way, create anyway. when the launch gets canceled, when the colors don't match, when you make mistakes, when you mess up. That's how we stretch. That's how we grow. That's how we come back to ourselves. Create space, create space for joy, not just because, look, I did it again, not just because you want to impress somebody else, not just for making a perfect quote unquote spread, not just for sharing a new sticker that you've worked so hard to design. I create because it brings me back to who I am. So I wrote the affirmation, and I think you should feel free to borrow it. Maybe journal for yourself, do something fun. Sometimes making things is the only way I know how to move through the mess. It's not about the outcome, it's about the act of showing up, especially when things don't go as planned. So maybe that's the reminder we all need right now. So you don't need the perfect supplies, you don't even need new supplies. I'm sure you have something that you can use in your stash. You just need a few minutes, carve out 10 to 15 minutes for yourself, and a willingness to open up to a blank page and create. So yes, while the sticker book is probably sold out by the time you're watching this video, the bigger message is to keep creating. Support small businesses when you can, but also look around at what you have already. The paper you've been saving, the stickers that are waiting for a new home, the notebook that you wrote 2 pages on or less than that. This creative life isn't about perfection. It's about creating space for joy, especially when life gets messy. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to begin again, and you're absolutely allowed to keep showing up for your creativity, even when things don't go as planned. Thanks for being here with me. If you made something today, or even if you just felt inspired to try, I'd love to hear about it. Give this video a thumbs up, comment below, and I hope you feel inspired to keep those creative juices flowing, my friends.